one of the most treasured racing cities in the world, Indianapolis. All weekend long, the city plays host to NASCAR and its motorsports empire. Matt Kenseth will lead the charge to the Yard of Bricks, while across town, we go back to the roots of stock car racing. The Busch Series and Craftsman Truck Series assault the asphalt at IRP. Brendan Gaughan finds himself sharing the honor of points leader in one of the tightest races for a championship. Since Texas, the Orleans Dodge has swooped the competition. Can the Orleans crew find the setup to send the 62 truck to victory lane for a 5th time this season? It's going to take something they've never done: win on a short track. Roots of Stock Car Racing is next at IRP.
Speed Channel's coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series pre-race show is presented by Craftsman. Well, in the Ford top 10 point standings, it's good to have been the Rookie of the Year. The 2002 and 2001 Rookies of the Year are tied at the top in total number of points through 13 races. But with 12 races remaining, this championship race is far from over. We are under the lights here at Indianapolis Raceway Park, and it's a little bit darker than it normally would be at this time because weather is getting to be a problem in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Inclement weather is moving up the start of today's race. It's 83 degrees currently, but as you can see, thunderheads are moving into the area, and so we will start this race as soon as possible so that we can get you all of the racing action here at IRP. And we head down trackside to continue with the pre-race activities.
Trimble and a pair of warthogs here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. It's now time for those famous words. Bert Diamond with Ford Racing Technology to give the command.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
The thunder has begun here in Indianapolis, but it's not weather yet. It's the firing up of these Craftsman trucks. Speed Channel's coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series pre-race show is brought to you by Craftsman, the official tools of NASCAR and the NHRA. Welcome to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Power Stroke Diesel 200 on Speed Channel, presented by Ford. Let's take a look at the U.S. Army starting grid. Up in front, it's very similar to a year ago. Terry Cook on the pole, Jason Leffler on his outside.
Look down there on the number 9 in the 10th place right there. Kenny Hendricks, the guy who builds shock absorbers. He does anything he can to get a ride, and he did really good today. He got enough money to run a whole race, and he's in 10th.
Darrell Waltrip's going to start on the inside of row number 9. And Dennis Setzer, the short track ace, will be on the outside of him. Tracy Hines, the newest addition to the Ultra Motorsports team, the number 27, will start on the outside of row number 15.
Good run for Johnny Chapman there, Rick.
Rounding out our field here, TJ Bell and Jerry Hill.
Well, we're just a little over 5/8 mile here, 6.86. 7.5 degrees of banking, not very much. 2 degrees on the straightaway. Go ahead, Rick.
And let's head down trackside to Phil Parsons.
Thank you, Rick. Normally the guy that sits on the pole gets the first pick, and that happened again here at IRP. Our pole sitter Terry Cook got the first pick. He didn't pick the first pit because of this little crease right through here. So look at, see the red mark there? That's where the jack goes. They didn't want to take a chance of the jack getting hung up in this little crease. Ray.
Bill, I'm going to keep my eye on Ultra Motorsports tonight. I think they'll be pretty good, but in their history here at this racetrack, they have not been that good, except for last year when Jason Leffler finished second here to Terry Cook. Ted Musgrave's stats have not been great here tonight. There is a third Ultra entry tonight, number 27, a Tracy Hines. Hines has a lot of success here in USAC on this track. I think Ultra might be the team to watch tonight at IRP.
And the field is all in line. We said before, we're getting this underway a little bit quicker. Mike Dolan has pulled the pace truck down onto pit lane. And leading the pace right now is the 29 of Terry Cook as he comes to the flag stand. The green flag is in the air, and we're racing here in the Power Stroke Diesel 200.
Back to short tracks, boys. Here we go.
Well, Terry Cook's taking up right where he left off. He was very, very good all day long. Pole sitter, droopy dog. Look for him to be fast, but we got great racing all the way back. And what we saw a while ago, I think, are just some of the fireworks we're going to see tonight.
And Terry Cook hasn't been running very well yet this season. At this point a year ago, he had 3 wins. This year, he doesn't have a top 5.
But let me tell you about how important it is to be on the pole here. There's been 8 races so far. 4 of those races have been won by the pole. The next 2 from second, the other 2 from third. Nobody has ever won a race here out of the top 3.
I think this is also Terry Cook's kind of racetrack. And there's a little added pressure, too, when your sponsor sponsors the race, and we have a tremendous crowd here tonight with him in the Power Stroke Diesel Ford.
You know what? The Power Stroke people have about 1,100 people here, fans here. I went out and did a little thing with them there. They actually gave tickets away to anybody who owned a Power Stroke Diesel who would drive it up here to this racetrack, and there's a bunch of them out there.
I would have done that, Doris.
I would have, too.
3-wide racing already here at IRP. Andy Petrie in the number 33 on the inside of the 54 of Brian Stockwell.
Who would have thought Andy Petrie would be in the middle of 3-wide? He's going to put on a show tonight, folks.
Andy's a good racer. A lot of people don't realize that. He used to race at Greenville Pickens, Hickory. You had to fight your way out of there a lot of times, but he was a good racer. 3-wide action right here. Expect that all night. Look up front right here. Kenny Hendrick started 10th inside his teammate Mike Skinner. And I think they're going to let Kenny drive this truck and race it all night. He's been starting it to accumulate owner's points for the number 9, as you saw a great shot there from Ken Schrader's on board.
And like I say, he works on this team. He builds shock absorbers. He puts together handling packages for these guys. But he can drive a race car. I drove over them in Trans Am about 15 years ago.
Yeah, and you see right here from Schrader's truck, you saw a great shot of the onboard right here. He's inside Skinner. He was the fastest in practice, had to go to the brickyard. When that happens, you park your truck early. A lot of things happen there. The gas pressure and the shocks go away. It's not the same truck when you get it in qualify, but he still had a great qualifying run.
Let's take a look here earlier. Kenny Hendricks, as we had talked about him earlier, getting into a wall there a little bit.
Well, no, he's just checking, he's just checking where the outside boundary is, that's all.
He found it.
And it's, he didn't hurt anything there.
He's trying to go around Setzer on the outside. You see right here, the shot out of the back of Schrader's truck. David Starr. We've got good trucks mixed up all the way back in the top 20. Then you got Robert Pressey. That's a very good truck. He's starting way in the back. He's had a tough day so far. Federated Auto Parts, David trying to make a move right here. You know what, boys? We've been here. We haven't heard one word about aero push, dirty air. We're at a short track. We're at our 4th short track event of the year, and this is Saturday night racing right here, and I guarantee you it's going to be a good one.
Saturday night racing on Friday night here at IRP.
Oh, Kenny Schrader and Mike Skinner get together. Kenny gets a little sideways right there. What we did here, though, was last night there was a Silver Crown race here, and their rubber off their tires don't match up too well with these guys right here. Everybody's been real loose, searching for grip. And now, of course, that was all the practices run during the day when it was hot. Now it's cooled off. In fact, it looks like it could rain even.
Kenny's backing up the fact here that he did have a good truck. You see him moving inside. Now, these are 2 veterans. They don't mind swapping a little paint. So you can expect that. David Starr moving in the picture right here. National Rifle Association on that truck. And he's in pretty good shape also. Like I said, we got a barn burner going on.
Kenny Schrader currently in 13th position. And as we had mentioned before, David Starr just behind him in 14th right now. They're about 11 seconds behind our leader, which is Terry Cook, still out in front of this one.
Now, the preferred groove around IRP, as you see Terry Cook taking it right there, look at the lead he's got, is not on the bottom. This is kind of a diamond racetrack where you're going to go into the corner, enter it a little bit low, but you're going to let the truck wash up in the middle of the corner. You're going to see these guys looking like they're running right around the middle of the racetrack all the way around. That's where the grip is. That is the preferred line until you have to try to pass somebody. Phil?
Yeah, Dorsey. Rick Crucci for Terry Cook in his Power Stroke Diesel Ford said, hey, you're pulling away, run your line, and have some fun tonight. How about that?
I like that. Have some fun tonight. That's what it's all about.
Good lead there for the 29 of Terry Cook. And you see the Tide number 17 in the field. That's DW Darrell Waltrip out here at IRP, and joining us up in the booth, brother and co-owner Michael Waltrip. And welcome back to the Power Stroke Diesel 200. We are in the same positions we started. Terry Cook out front, Jason Leffler sitting second, and Chad Chaffin in third. Hello everyone, I'm Rick Allen, and joining me, of course, in the booth every week is the regulars, Barry Dodson and Dorsey Schrader, but we've added owner of the team tonight. We've got Michael Waltrip up here with us. And Michael, you've had a lot of success already involved in all of NASCAR, and you had some good runs already here in Indianapolis. But what do you think about your brother out there?
Well, he just tore the side off our truck. He got into another truck and scraped the wall going down the back straightaway. I love setting up in the booth. You can see everything that's going on. There's so much action to watch, and let's turn around and see what's going on.
How much is that going to cost him, that scrape, you figure?
Well, I have to get after the race, Dorsey, and analyze that situation. But he's working all over Shane Wallace right now, trying to gain a position there. He's kind of getting held up, and Terry Cook is coming. He's putting a lot of good trucks a lap down right now. Andy Petrie is right in front of Terry, so business is fixing to pick up as the leader starts to lap trucks.
If you were driving it, what would Darrell say? Oh, it's only cosmetic.
He would, and he'd also say, what the heck you doing scratching the truck on the 5th lap? But, he's getting his wheels under him. The caution's out. This is something that'll help a bunch of guys, like I said, getting ready to go down a lap.
Oh, problems with our leader right there spinning.
Oh, man, Terry Cook around backwards in front of everybody, does not get hit.
Schrader.
Not yet.
Wow, well, we got a call that there's debris on the front stretch. That brought that yellow out, but then Terry Cook had a big moment there.
It looked to me like Andy Petrie got into the back of Terry Cook there, as far as bumping him to spin him around. But now we have Jason Leffler out in front of this one.
He inherited the lead there the easy way, but it was something else, and that could have been very catastrophic for where it happened.
Let's take a look at this.
Andy Petrie to 33 now, going to get in the quarter. Yeah, send him around.
That'll just about do it right there, Rick.
Well, did he get a little loose there, Michael? What happened?
It just looked like Andy pushed up when he got down in the corner. The caution was waving, and I'm not kidding, Barry. You get desperate when the caution flag's waving and you're trying to get a lap back. You want to do all you can to get past the guy and get back on the lead lap. We're only 20 laps into the race. If you go down a lap right now, it ruins your whole night.
Phil, what's going on?
Yeah, guys, the 29 truck is definitely coming in the pits. You saw him spin around there. He can't take a chance on flat spotting his tires. He lost a lot of track position doing that spin, so he's going to come on in here, get 4 tires. He was extremely happy with the truck, so I don't think he hit anything. Just had a little shot in the left rear from Andy Petrie. So he'll put 4 tires in this thing, get him back out, and he'll be good to go.
Now, one thing you saw Terry do when he got tapped in the quarter panel is he gunned it. He gave it full throttle and executed the spin to keep it off the wall, number one, and to try not to get the flat spotted tires, but
Dorsey,
anyway.
Dorsey, what's your blood pressure right now when he thinks about Andy Petrie right now?
Well, it's high, and now it's where the crew chief and the spotter got to get him calmed down, because this is a race where patience is going to win it. You can't win this thing for a long time. This night's far from over.
Skinner's in right here, not very happy with his truck, obviously, making it look like probably a spring rubber there. The delay was on the left rear, and normally that's what it is, either putting one in or taking it out.
Out in front again, it's the Team ASE CarQuest Dodge number 2 of Jason Leffler. And so a new leader here at IRP. We're under caution number 1. And welcome back to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Power Stroke Diesel 200 right here at IRP, Indianapolis Raceway Park. The field going down the backstretch will be coming to green flag racing. And again, out in front, Jason Leffler now pacing the field. Chad Chaffin's moved up into second. And Ultra Motorsports teammate number 1, Ted Musgrave, in third position.
Buckle up, Buttercups. He's going to get good.
Coming back to the start-finish line for our restart on lap 26.
You guys touched on track position. Terry Cook had the premier track position. Now he's lost it.
Right. We talked about nobody ever winning out of the top 3 because of how hard it is to pass around here. The man up front now, Jason Leffler, let's not forget, it's not his first rodeo around this racetrack. He did a bunch of open wheel stuff around here. A lot of miles here.
It's going to be fun to watch Terry Cook battle back through this field. Barry said it's very difficult to pass here, but you saw how dominant that truck was early in the going. He's got the fastest truck here. passing is difficult. He'll have to dip down to the bottom and try to get under these guys. It's flatter down on the bottom, harder to do. Be interesting to see how far he can make it up through there. Looks pretty good so far, though, Barry.
Yeah, it's hard to cut down like that and keep the truck from pushing and keep forward bite off where the thing doesn't snap loose. But if anybody can, he can.
Brian Stockwell on the outside of Terry Cook as Cook tries to eat away at the lead that has been put in front of him because of spinning on that first caution.
He has no choice right now but to run that bottom lane, and it's going to put a lot of wear on the tires. It's going to put a lot of wear on him because that's a situation running around the bottom. There's no grip down there.
Everybody from Cook back, though, pitted, so even though he did lose his track position, it could have been a lot worse had a bunch of those trucks stayed out. He was able to get past them on pit road or stay ahead of them on pit road, and he's already about made it up to where Darrell is, which means he's up to 17th, 18th spot.
Yeah, he's 6.7 seconds back right now. We'll stay on that and see what kind of progress he makes here.
DW's about to help the 4 along. I think Shane needs a little help, it looks like. What happened to that truck, Mike? That thing's tore all up.
He got off turn 2 and was on the outside of it, on the inside of another truck, and kind of tried to persuade him to let him in, and the guy wasn't going for what Darrell was trying to sell.
Now earlier, Michael, I mentioned co-owner, but you are actually the owner of this team, and you put together a pretty good team here. But one of the guys on your team, we consider him the interpreter, and I want to know what he is interpreting as far as the outside of the number 17. That's Jeff Hammond. Jeff, you with us?
Jeff, did you report to Darrell that the right side of the truck looks pretty good, even though we've gotten to the wall a little bit?
Michael, we were trying to get him convinced that everything was okay, but he let us know pretty quick that he hit pretty hard. But at the same time, the truck's a little bit loose. We got to spin right now. 3 and 4 got 2 trucks around. I know you guys got work to do. Let me get off here. We need to work on that 17 truck.
Let's pit that thing, Jeff. Get to pit road. We'll get that thing worked on so Darrell can have some fun.
We've got caution number 2 coming out. I know Andy Petru is involved in it. The 08 of Jody Lavender also coming back up to speed now.
That could have been a lot worse, I guarantee you that.
And take some wedge out. I'm right through the center, but I'm loose off. And I think if we take some wedge out and lower the track bar down on the right side, that might be a win-win, especially if we do it on the right rear. Go down on the right rear spring, go down on the right rear track bar.
That voice very familiar there. That is DW.
You can tell the man knows what he wants. You need to tell him too, Darrell, if you get a chance to pull out that right front fender. I'm sure Larry Mack, who's up on the roofs, told him that there's a lot of downforce loss there when you mess up your left front fender like that, or right front fender, and so they're kind of struggling right now.
Yeah, and there's a 63 of David Stover. Now that's pretty significant damage right here. This kid's done a good job today. You did see Larry Mack up top, and he knows how vital it is to get the fenders down, even though we're on a 5/8 mile racetrack.
And again, Jason Leffler still out in front of the field. DW currently running in 17th position with his tie team. The Power Stroke Diesel 200 on Speed Channel, presented by Ford. If you haven't looked at a Ford lately, look again. And by Craftsman, the official tools of NASCAR and the NHRA. And welcome back to Indianapolis Raceway Park. Up front, Jason Leffler in the Team ASE CarQuest Dodge, number 2. And right behind him, the number 18 of Chad Chaffin.
Looks a little bit familiar. Dodge, 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 Ford. Carl Edwards, the first non-Dodge in 5th place.
You know, Chad looked pretty good. I think Jason may have a mirror full of this kid when we get going here. Terry Cook's on the move. We said a while ago he's up to 6.7 seconds from the leader, and we'll keep you updated on that. Kenny Schrader, good run by him. Federated Auto Parts. Jason Leffler right there. Here we go.
Mike Dolan brings the pace truck back down on pit road, and Jason Leffler sets the pace as he comes out of 4. We're back to racing.
Man, it is some kind of fun to watch these trucks race here at IRP. A lot of action. 3 and 4 wide, maybe even 5 before it's over.
Well, if they get 5 wide, 3 going to be in the wall. I learned that lesson.
Well, we're getting ready to be 3 on the back here, maybe. Terry Cook, one of them.
They don't hold back much, I guarantee you that.
And this is really the roots of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. They started out on short tracks, and this is where this is really it's found its identity.
It's an awesome racetrack for the trucks. There's no question about it. They put on a really good show here.
I like it because there's multi-grooves. You can slide right out next to the wall and run, or you can dip down to the bottom like we've seen Terry Cook do to try to get to the front. Phil, what do you got?
Well, Michael,
Jason Leffler is really happy with his truck. He's just a tick tight in the center of the corner, but he really loves the forward bite off the corner. They may make about a half a pound air pressure adjustment in the right front, take a half a pound out to try to free this thing up in the center, but he loves it off the corner.
And I think the truck of Andy Petrie just received a black flag.
Now what did Angie get himself into there, you reckon?
I can't imagine. How could that happen?
We got the boys in the trenches. They'll find out what's going on here. Let's see if they give it to 33. They got his number posted there.
I tell you what, all during practice and qualifying, which was relatively short, at a 2-hour practice, the whole bunch of trucks that were here, everybody was searching for forward bite. The guys that got it, you can see it right now. They're all up in the front.
That's what it's all about. You know, you roll in these corners, they're very sweeping turns. You want to be able just to mat that gas on the way off to get down these straightaways. So Jason's got to be pretty happy with what he's got right now. Andy's heeding the black flag that was thrown upon him. We'll have to get our boys down to pits to see why they did that thing, Andy.
Michael, that's got to be tough right there to not speed, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's very hard, and this is a pass-through penalty. We'll actually stop it in his pit.
Well, he shot through it. He needs to back up. There we go.
Good
Race
battle for second here.
Hey, look at Chad Chapman. We're talking about how good he's doing this year. He's really coming on, trying an outside pass on the one.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about early on. He looked pretty good.
Ted Musgrave trying to take away the position from Chad Chapman. Chapman currently in second position. Ray, what's going on?
Rick, I just wanted to update you on that number 18 team. When you look at their statistics here at IRP, it's amazing. In 5 races here, they've never qualified worse than 4th, and they've never finished worse than 10th. Joe Ruttman drove 3 races. Robert Presley finished 5th with them last year, and Chad Chapman believes after his 3rd place finish at the last race, he really believes that they've got a shot at winning tonight with the Dickies Dodge.
And side-by-side racing here for these guys, and they've been doing it for a couple laps already.
All right, that's what Michael touched on right here. The guy on the outside has the momentum off the corner with the engine and the horsepower. You see Musgrave underneath.
Now, you know what's kind of fun to look
at?
at?
Watch the 18 right here. Watch your power.
Look behind him, though. The pack of wolves behind him in case somebody messes up. The two of them get together just a little at spit and have to check up all those hound dogs behind him coming by.
And it's such a desperate feeling to be in Ted's position right now. You can see him down on the bottom. He's got a good handling truck, obviously fast, or he couldn't stay side by side for this long running down on that bottom. But it's a whole lot like Talladega or Daytona. Once they line up on the outside of you, there's a chance they can freight train you. Ted was lucky enough to squeeze right in behind Brendan and ahead of Carl right there.
Well, you should know about Talladega and Daytona.
Yeah, it's frustrating when you get out of line, and it's not a whole lot like that here as well.
Your brother actually showed me that in an IROC race one time. He showed me what happens if I get out of line.
Good racing right here up front. Rick Crawford trying the bottom. I don't think that's the preferred line, but now's the time to give it a whirl. And the advantage is the truck out front, as we see right here.
Jason Leffler has been out in front of the pack for 25 laps. He is our second leader. Terry Cook led the first 20.
Welcome to Indianapolis.
Thanks.
First time here?
Absolutely. Never been here before.
Can I give you some directions?
I sure need them.
Okay, let's start at the 16th Street landmark, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Nah, that's not the place, so don't stop there. Head a little west. Take a right here. You ever make a left turn?
All the time.
Now be careful, it's a little bank around this corner. And there it is, at Indianapolis Raceway Park. I love Indianapolis. Now go get lost.
Jason Leffler and Randy Briggs having a little fun there, and Jason Leffler's a good guy to listen to directions from as he sits out in front of this field by over 4 seconds now.
It's coming up on some lap traffic. Andy Petrie is not going to want to go a lap down. We saw that a minute ago.
No, you're exactly right.
Andy Petrie already a lap down, actually just doesn't want to go another lap down.
And I think the guys behind him, Michael, they're liking seeing him getting into this traffic because that's what's going to give them a chance of getting caught up if they'll stay lined up and quit racing here for a little bit.
The pit window barrier is around lap 60 or 65. Once we go that far, a truck can make it to the end from there. And I look for all the leaders to pit around lap 60 or 65 and be done with pit road. Never return there, finish the race on the track for that all-important track position. We've seen how much it's meant tonight with Cook driving away and now Leffler driving away. Good battle for second, though, behind Leffler.
Ray, what's going on in the pits?
Well, Rick, I just wanted to give you a quick update about 3 of the trucks that are running in the top 4 tonight. There are only 3 trucks here tonight that have actually won this year, the actual chassis that these guys are driving. Leffler's out front. He's driving Luther. That's truck number 11. It won at Dover. Brendan Gaughan's back there racing with Chad Chaffin. He is driving T number 6, and he won at Milwaukee with this truck. Ted Musgrave is driving the CT Special, and he won with that truck at Memphis. So 3 of the guys in the top 4 have trucks that have already been to victory lane this year.
There you have it. That's some good homework from Ray. Brendan Gaughan right there.
Brendan got a little swerpy right there on the inside.
He might have got a little help there to get loose.
I think he did, actually. Carl Edwards real aggressive, too, right now. Getting real racy, trying to get by Musgrave in the 1.
With more on Chaffin, Phil Parsons.
Thanks, Rick. Remember Chad Chaffin, he's out there running second. He's never run a Craftsman Truck Series race here at IRP. He does have 4 push starts with a best finish of 20th a couple years ago. He probably right now is holding this whole pack up. You see these guys stacked up behind him. But as Michael and you guys were talking about, the truck in the groove on the outside, there's no way to get around them on the outside. They got to try to make something happen on the inside, as you saw Brendan Gaughan try to do. But it's really no man's land down there.
He's right. And Terry Cook, you know, is making some good forward progress, but somehow he has lost a second to Leffler. Yellow's out.
Caution number 3 coming out on the track here.
We just saw the 78 truck of Charlie Bradbury coast in. Looked like he might have lost an engine, probably left some oil on the racetrack. That's a break for the old Tide Give Kids the World Village truck. We were looking at going a lap down, and my guys can get in there and work on the right side of that truck, maybe get some tires and adjustment. We're at a close point. You know, I said lap 60 or 65. Be interesting to see oil dripping out back of the 78 there. Be interesting to see how many of these guys take this chance to go to pit road and hopefully finish up the day.
That thing lost a rear gear or something.
Yeah.
Look right here.
He's cooked the gear.
It's cooked the rear gear on that thing. And that's a mess. It smells bad too. I can tell you that much.
You can ride on that if you want, Michael.
Well, and we have some takers here on pit road.
And now let's go down to pit road and Phil Parsons.
Thanks, Rick. The 2 truck, Jason Leffler's going to come in, a little pit strategy. They're going to change 2 right side tires, take a little bit of air out of that right front, as we mentioned a couple minutes ago. But they like this track position. They want to keep this track position. You got Scott Punch on the front, Marty Houston on the rear. They're going to change 2 tires, take a little air out of the right front.
Hey, 62 is in. Brendan Gaughan with a 4-tire stop. They make an air pressure adjustment for him. They put air in the right front tire. He is away. The 16 came in with a pretty massive change. They went down 2 pounds of air on the left side, put a half a rubber in the right rear, and down 1 pound on the right front. The 16 goes back out. Also saw Dennis Setzer in here for 4 tires. Phil?
Yeah, Ray, the 1 truck has problems on the left side. It actually fell off the jack. The guys had to lift it back up. He did change 4 tires, but he had some problems. He got a little damage on the left front fender. They had to beat it out a little bit, but the truck fell off the jack. They had to lift it back up, so he lost a lot of track position that is so critical here at IRP.
Darrell was so far behind on the track, he decided to run an extra lap, get up next to the caution car, because they got a lot of work they're going to do to this Tide truck here. They got to work on the side of it. They got to make some adjustments, try to get the thing better. Ray, what's going on?
Well, these guys really are trying to get a loose condition out of this truck here. He said it was loose and tight off, guys, so you know how tough that can be. Down that round on the wedge. They also go down on the track bar like Darrell was talking. 3.5 rounds for the track bar, so pretty significant chassis changes here as they try to get the fenders all straightened out on the Tide ride. Looks good, and they get the 4 tires in it. Darrell will go back to the racetrack.
Well, I tell you what, guys, strategy on pit stops is, well, playing into this race again, because the guy who started out front was our leader is now back out front again. He didn't come in and pit.
That's exactly right. Even though Jason Leffler put on 2 tires and had a 9-second pit stop. Good stop, but you see who stayed out.
And so the Tide ride does come back out onto the track, and Terry Cook back out in front here at IRP. And welcome back. The green flag just dropping on lap number 65. And Terry Cook again back out in front. After the first caution of the day came out and he got spun around coming out of 4, he is back out in front of the pack.
And Droopy Dog is nose down and digging as it was early on.
But this is interesting, guys. I believe everybody else will try to stretch this gas to the end of the race. And Terry Cook's going to have to pit again, give up this wonderful track position. It's going to be a great strategy to see how this all turns out. He pitted on lap 23, but he can't make it to the end from there. So definitely another pit stop for Cook. Will the others follow suit, Phil, or what are they talking about down on pit road?
Michael, I asked Rick Wren, he said, hey, it's about 100 laps before we have to worry about pitting. He said, there's no way that we can make it all the way, but we know we got to come in, and we feel like we need to put more tires on. So they elected to stay out, leave this thing a while longer.
Actually, Andy got arrested for passing to the left before the start-finish line.
Terry Cook's woes continue here in 2003, although now he's back out in front of this one. But at this point a year ago, he had 3 wins already. And up to this point this year, not one top 5 finish.
Boy, look at the lead he's got right now. But let me tell you who's coming on right behind them. Carl Edwards, guys, has found some legs. I don't know what they did to the 99, but he's running right there behind it too. He's making up some ground quick.
It's pretty cool when strategy kind of plays into things. You can see Robert Presley there running second. He's up ahead of this battle here for third. Carl's running well, but Shane Wallace, he's in third spot up there. A good strong run for that rookie.
Look at this, side by side. Get out of my way. Get out of my way.
Little bump and
That's what we're talking about. Well, you know, you got Carl down there on the apron just about. He's on the flat. He's going to have to come up. You know that.
He just did.
Came right up in front, too, the way he wanted to.
Worked it out.
I saw that thing was coming on, man. He was driving in the corner real good.
And this kid's exciting. Carl Edwards has run very well. He got his first win, Kentucky. And Michael, you got your first win not too long ago. It's got to be exciting.
Well, I just hope he wins more so he can do those backflips. That was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I thought with that wet grass, can you imagine if that had got wrong? Oh,
that was huge.
That was huge.
Carl Edwards starting 4th tonight, and then after pit stops, dropped back into 6th position, but has moved up past the number 2 and number 04, and so he is up into 3rd position right now, running behind our leader Terry Cook and Robert Presley.
Brendan Gaughan right there looking underneath the 04 right now as well. You know, he hasn't had a great success here at this racetrack. He's running pretty good though.
They've struggled a little bit today, but he is running pretty good, Dorsey. And then to put an exclamation point on what the track position means, look at Wallace up there. I mean, he's going to stay there right now unless we get some long green runs. That's how paramount being up front is here, because you can run your preferred groove, and you can do that with nobody trying to get on you. You can put some space on people.
Look at this pack right here. Now they're getting after that short track racing there.
Oh yeah, we're going to see some plenty of options here, or opportunities for strategies.
Travis Kvapil in the 16th.
And you know what that means.
And Travis Kvapil, our points leader, tied right now with Brendan Gaughan, and he's been able to move back up pretty well.
And there you see Carl Edwards. He is, Dorsey, you said it. He's on the move.
Yeah, once he gets his head down, when he gets up on the wheel, you can see him, man. He just starts driving her in there deeper and deeper. But he's got a good truck right now because it's sticking real well.
Guys, 2 Fords up front.
Well, it's all like we've talked about so far, strategy. We're going to have to see how all this plays out. The good trucks, we've seen Terry Cook run well. We know Carl's going to be strong. They've elected to stay out, gather up some track position, and take advantage of that.
Now, Carl Edwards ran last night in the Silver Crown, got a 3rd place finish last night, so he's already got some miles around here.
And this is the first start for Carl Edwards here. I believe first start for Carl Edwards here at Indianapolis Raceway Park in a truck.
There's Preston, the 59, Harris truck.
And Bill Lester, I believe, tagged the wall in turn number 2 as he was working his way around this track, but no caution coming out.
How about Robert now? He struggled early on, but they had to raise the truck up to go through the height stick, and then didn't qualify good, and he used that option to stay out, and he's got a pretty darn good truck right now, I believe.
Yeah, Brendan's having a little bit of trouble dealing with him. You know, you talked about Brendan hadn't run well here in the past. He hasn't run anywhere in the past like he is now, so I don't think that bothers Brendan any. He knows he's going to be good here tonight.
He made the pass on the bottom. That's difficult to do.
Gaughan moving up into 4th position ahead of Robert Presley. And now the number 8 of Bill Lester coming down pit road. I had mentioned earlier, I believe he got into the wall coming out of turn number 2. Let's take a look.
See him right there on the outside.
He's already got the trouble.
He's already got, look at the right front. He's already been in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. That's a...
Yeah.
Looks like the right side damage on that. And let's go down to Bill Parsons.
That thing pretty hard on the wall, Phil.
Yeah, Michael, he sure did. He bounced off that thing pretty good between 1 and 2. The guys are going to put right side tires on. They're going to try to beat the right front fender out a little bit, but a pretty hard contact for Bill Lester's Dodge in turns 1 and 2.
You saw that right, Rick. He got up there in the wall pretty solid, and then subsequently came off the wall.
Now trying not to lose too much track position, they get him back out after some cosmetic damage or cosmetic work done to the number 8s. And still out in front, it's Terry Cook in the Power Stroke Diesel Oil Mate number 29 here in the Power Stroke Diesel 200.
But here comes Carl.
And welcome back to the Power Stroke Diesel 200. We're under caution number 4, and we're going to head right down to the pits because the Power Stroke Diesel number 29 is coming in. Phil Parsons.
Yeah, Ricky definitely is coming in. He said he was going to pit on the very next caution flag, and he will be good to go to the end. He will come in, he will take 1 pound of air out of the right front. He will put 4 tires in this thing. He'll have enough fuel for the end. So this more than likely will be Terry Cook's last pit stop. He's going to have a lot of trucks to pass, but I think he can do it. He's got such a great truck. Got Steve Bonatowski on the right front tire there. Got Chad Raney on the rear tire. The only thing that's going to hurt Terry Cook right now is if it starts raining. Go down to Ray.
Well, Phil, the Tide Ride is back in. DW making a wedge adjustment on the number 17. He said the back end is jumping out just like he's driving a dirt car, so he was not happy once again. This will probably be the last time we see him come down pit road. We'll see if these adjustments help him move his way towards the front.
I would say, Ray, if he keeps running as bad as he is, that's not the last time you'll see him come down pit road, because they will continue to work on this thing, because Daryl doesn't sound like a happy camper on the radio, nor do those two look like they're having much fun right now.
Let's go back to Ray.
Well, guys, some rumors going on down here in the garage area. We expect any week now to hear the final outcome of who all will be involved with the Toyota program next year here in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. If you've read my articles on speed.com, we've been trying to find out who's going to be involved with Toyota. And today I learned there's a very good likelihood that Larry McReynolds, who is the spotter today for Darrell Waltrip up there on the roof, is going to be a team owner. It's likely, I say, that he will do this. They have not made the final decision yet. He said he would like to be a part of it. The rumored driver for him, Mike Skinner, former champion here. So these things are probably going to break within the next week or so. We'll know who all is involved with the Toyota deal.
Hey, Daryl, how'd we do? Did we improve it, or we still got some problems, buddy?
The thing is, it's real loose off the corner. I mean, once I get in the turn and I cut the wheels and start up off the corner, can't go anywhere. I'm floating the nose getting in and then looser and getting off.
Well, that's a shame. I know you had a good truck in Martinsville and a good truck today in practice. Maybe these adjustments here that your brain trust down there is implemented will help you out. We're going to go back green. We've been real fortunate to stay on the lead lap. The right side of the truck looks like they pulled out your fender, got it all fixed up. So maybe the next half of this race will be better than the first half.
That's what I'm hoping, because that's not very good right now, bud. And I'm doing all I can, but it's so loose that this joint's not easy to drive loose.
Good luck. Go get them.
Darrell Waltrip driving the Give Kids the World Tide.
One thing we should say also, during our break, is the 99 Carl Edwards, who I was talking about, made a clean pass for the lead and is now our leader.
And is subject to walk away from these guys. He was so fast in that last run prior to this caution.
Jason Leffler with a good start there, tried to get on the inside of Carl Edwards on the restart, but Carl Edwards leading his 7th race this year, still out in front.
We got racing going on here.
There's Kenny Schrader on the outside. That was close.
Oh, we got
somebody
a
up
truck
the
in the wall.
You can see Shane Wallace slid up and brushed the wall, but no harm, no foul, just barely lightly hit the wall. He'll be fine.
That's just a paint check there. That's
brought him right on around, didn't it, Michael?
Headed him in the right direction, Barry.
We'll take a look back and see Shane Wallace here.
Look at here, right here on the outside. Just gets in way too hot.
I believe Andy kind of
leaned on him.
Took him into the wall.
How come Andy's in all these trouble? What's the matter here?
Andy needs GPS or something. We got battling going on all the way back. Travis Quapple trying to move up. He got Terry Cook right now. Musgrave came in and pitted again. He's behind. And let me mention right now, I had these guys at an 18.5-second pit stop, the 29 Power Stroke Diesel Ford.
Well, let's take a look back at how Carl Edwards got into the #1 position as he passes on the inside of Terry Cook here. And again, this was before the caution came out.
I'll use that lap truck right there, the number 5.
Moving pick.
Jerry Hill, and it just boxed him in and just motored on by.
But he came from a half a straightaway behind in about 5 laps to catch the leader and take the lead. So not really a big surprise to see Carl dominating this race right now.
He was coming. I mean, I saw it went on about way before that last restart. Whatever they did at that last pit stop, it worked.
Now, Carl Edwards started in the 5th position And that's just unheard of to come here and win a race from the 5th position. Nobody's ever done it outside the 3rd.
Yeah, right there we get a great view out of the ASC CarQuest Dodge. Brendan Gaughan still searching around, trying to find the line here at Indy, and he's going to realize a little later on it's up top.
And there's Rick Crawford. We haven't talked about Rick Crawford in the 14 Ford right there.
Yep, Rick's moved into the picture, Dorsey.
Yeah, he's. Oh, and Brendan Gaughan just slapped the back end.
I told you he was going to move up top.
Yeah, he just went up there and hit the right side on the wall.
And the Orleans Dodge getting a little damage there, but with more, Ray Dunlap.
Hey, Rick, you know, everybody down here in the garage has been saying, what is up with the 62? Those guys with the most. Oh, we got a caution on the track. We'll get back to that.
Stan Boyd getting sideways, and we'll come back to Ray here momentarily. But
no caution.
The caution has not come out yet. Stan Boyd getting it back out onto the track. So the 89 of Stan Boyd staying on the track, and we stay green.
Got a Cronco left rear quarter panel, so I think he got a little assistance, the way it looks.
That's probably a fair statement.
There you go.
You know, Carl's leading right now, but he's really not driving away from Jason. Jason's got a pretty good truck, I believe.
What about Brendan? He likes to run up high, and I know what he's thinking right now. He's usually the highest guy on the track, and he's thinking, man, all these cats are running in my groove. Get them down out of the way. Ray, what's he saying?
Michael, you're exactly right. That's what he's saying. His lap traffic is getting in his way, and he's not happy about it. But what I started to talk about was just how good these guys have been with the last 2 victories. And a lot of people in the garage have said, hey, what are you guys doing that you're so good? Well, they've been testing a lot. They tested at Irwindale to try to get ready for this race. On Monday and Tuesday of this week, they tested at Pikes Peak to try to get ready for Loudon. And today, they've got a truck in the wind tunnel, and they've got 2 trucks that are being worked on back at the shop to get ready for Nashville in the next week. So these guys are just putting in a lot of hard work, and I think that work is paying off.
Guys, right now, the Fords are running very well because the 14 of Rick Crawford is trying to make the pass now on Brendan Gaughan in the Orleans Dodge. As it slides up the track, he's able to keep that circle bar number 14 down on the low side. So Rick Crawford trying to make the pass for 3rd.
He can get under there, but he does not have the momentum with the engine unless Brendan makes a mistake, gets a little bit loose, then he can beat him off. Other than that, I think he's going to have to go up top and wait for Brendan to make a mistake.
The guy on top can roll into the throttle earlier down there on the 14. If he gets on the throttle, he just spins his tire. Ray, you got something on the 14?
Dorsey? Hey, Dorsey.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, it's a lot about attitude, and you guys talk about this, so when you're the most recent winner, you're pretty good, like Brendan. But the same thing for Rick Crawford, because he's really the most recent winner, because on Wednesday night, he went to I-55 Speedway in Peebly, Missouri, for an all-star shootout with Kenny Schrader, Tony Stewart, Kevin Harvick, Kenny Wallace, a whole bunch of great guys. Guess who won that night? Crawford. And Crawford said, man, I'm the most recent winner. I've got all the confidence, and that's why he's running great tonight.
Hey, Ray, you know who the big winner was that night, though, was Kyle Petty's Victory Junction Gang Camp. Schrader has that deal once a year. Last year, M&M sponsors it. Last year, they raised over $100,000 that one evening and expected to do more than that this year, and it all goes to Kyle's Victory Junction Camp. So a wonderful deal for Schrader to put together, and then those guys get to have so much fun going out there beating and banging each other on his little dirt track there in Missouri.
Great charity there, and Ken Schrader again hosting that at his track where Rick Crawford got the victory earlier this week. Carl Edwards out in front. And welcome back to the Power Stroke Diesel 200. Again, the Leroy's Boys Tide Gang on the track, currently in 25th position. And the 99 of Carl Edwards trying to put him a lap down. But we'd like to talk to the team and find out what's going on. We've got Jeff Hammond on board with us. Jeff, what's happening with the 17 Tide truck?
Well, guys, I hate to say this, we've been struggling all night long. For some reason, we just quite couldn't get our the side bite of the truck. So to work on it, and I'm afraid we're going to lose a lap before we get a chance to make some more changes. Now, we're not going to miss the setup, and that's as plain and simple as we can make it. It's going to be a long night. It's not what we wanted, but we haven't quit yet.
Did you see Darrell when Carl Edwards caught him? He knew there was no contact. Up couple lengths to go. You know, I can't do nothing. I'm holding on.
It's a helpless feeling to be dealing with the problems that Darrell's having right now. No side bite. I tell you, Barry, it could be very possible that he knocked the toe in on the truck out when he hit the wall off turn 2. I just happened to be watching it when that happened. It was a pretty good hit. Seen a lot of damage to the right side of the truck. So maybe that was part of the problem. I know why he got into the wall, because the thing was pushing, and then when he got into the wall, it might have made the problem worse.
Well, he certainly hit harder.
It's a shorter truck than it was before. It's a beautiful paint job on the truck. Tracy Hines, of course, many miles around here in open wheel. First time, I think, around here in the truck, though, and we don't know if he got help or not, but he's definitely in the wall.
Lost an engine this afternoon, right at the end of practice. Qualified 30th still. He had to get in on time, had to move to the back, and
it's not the worst.
Significant damage right here.
Not the worst wreck I've ever seen, but it definitely is going to end his evening.
Yeah, they're going to have to even have a chance raise it up. As you can see, the fuel cell's going to hit the racetrack if they don't.
That was a bad break for Leroy's boys racing. Darrell just gone that lap down, then the caution comes out. So we'll have to see if these guys can buckle down and.
Don't do it.
Terry Cook.
I didn't do it. My camera did it. The camera got him. Terry Cook gets him in the quarter panel. Around he goes, and Tracy Hines' evening's going to be short.
Like the truck.
Like the truck. Well, it was a pretty truck. This side's not that bad.
See David Starr in there behind him.
Bobby Hamilton.
Yep.
Bobby's been in the wall. Look at the side here.
Square D Dodge. They have really struggled as of late, and they've got to get back on track. It's like Bobby said, we got to take the bullets out of the gun, quit shooting ourselves in the foot. Get back in this points race.
You know, they had the momentum early. When they blew that motor and they got the DNF, it just all fell apart for them.
Take a look at the IWX Motor Freight number 16 of Travis Quapple, one of our points leaders, with more on Ray Dunlap.
Well, Rick Travis has not been very happy with that chassis, and they just decided to make another big chassis adjustment. They came in here at lap 111, went up 3 rounds for the wedge and up 3 rounds on the track bar and put 4 tires on it. They were running back about 16th. They said they weren't happy with that, so they said we got to do something if we're going to try to work our way to the front. Now let's check in with Phil.
Ray, I just want to follow up a little bit on Travis Quapple. His average finish on the 3 short track races that we have run this year is 12th. Dennis Setzer, 1.7, and Ted Musgrave 2.7. He actually has 131 points less on the 3 short track races than Dennis Setzer does this year. So this 16 IWX Chevrolet is going to really have to get their act together on the short tracks, and he's struggling a little bit today. He was just barely in the top 15 before the caution flag came out.
And guys, we've got 4 short tracks coming up, and let's go back down to Ray and find out what's going on.
Hey, Rick, a lot of these teams have a little bit of a mascot, and the 16 is one of those. They've got a little squirrel that's been riding with them on the inside of the truck, and Travis said it's been their good luck charm. That's why they've been able to pull off all these top 10s. But today, because you run so close to the wall here at IRP, they decided to put a blindfold around the eyes of the squirrel. They didn't want him to know how close he was to the wall.
I like that.
Blindfolding the squirrel?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
What? It's a
blind squirrel finds an acorn, I think they say.
Yeah, Tracy Hines went behind the wall. The 16 came down, didn't stop, just came down pit road and went right out.
Now,
oh, he did?
Get ready.
With the 16 right now, guys, when do you start points racing? I mean, he's currently up front, never had a win so far this year, but he's sitting on top of the points.
I saw him start points racing last week when he stayed out under a caution flag to gather up 5 points. You know, they knew they didn't have the best truck at Michigan. They decided they better get those 5 points while they could. So they're already thinking about that. This deal's over halfway through the year, so it's time to be worried about your points.
And checking out in front there is the 99 of Carl Edwards. He was on a rail going through 1 and 2.
You know, these Chevys, we've been talking about how they don't have as good a shot at it on the over 1 mile tracks. Well, they got to muscle up on these short tracks now if they're going to get any chance of getting some points together. Look right here, Rick Crawford in the 14. Making a big move up into 3rd place right now.
Yeah, these trucks here at IRP, they don't know whether they're a Ford, a Chevy, or a Dodge, or what they are. It's not about the aerodynamics here. It's just about racing.
3 wide. Danny Petrie on the outside wisely backs off. Kenny Schrader, ex-crew chief, he can give him a shot, couldn't he?
No, they're tight.
They're buddies. They're buddies.
You know, you talk about Andy being in the middle of everything. He's still got his truck looking good, though. He hasn't messed it up at all. And, you know,
He's
it's
messed up
tough
a
to
couple
go.
others, though.
It should have said it, Michael. You should not have said that.
I was going to say, it's tough to go a lap down early and have a good truck like Andy's got because you're constantly battling folks. You know, whether it's the top 5 trucks or other lap guys, he's constantly in the middle of all the action that's going on.
I've got one of those Monaco coaches. He's driving that like it's a coach is what he's doing.
And so Carl Edwards in a Ford out in front, and Rick Crawford out in front here at IRP. Tune into Speed tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern to watch the drivers of the ASA go head-to-head live at Berlin Raceway near Grand Rapids. Kevin Sawinski and Butch Miller in a points dogfight. There will definitely be a little barking and biting taking place tomorrow. Catch it all live right here. ASA Racing live from Grand Rapids tomorrow night at 9 exclusively on Speed.
You know, got great shot right there out of Kenny Schrader's CarQuest Chevrolet, and he's in pretty good shape. He's 7th, and up in front you can see John Wood, but Kenny having a pretty good run tonight, Rick.
There's wrecks all over this racetrack. They just haven't found a place to occur yet. I mean, there's stuff going on. It's just unbelievable, the racing going on right now.
Kenny was the fastest truck in practice today, so he's been on it all day long. Got some good track position here. It'd be interesting to see if he can fight his way through these guys and get the win for his little team there he owns.
Federated Auto Parts number 52 of Ken Schrader, and he runs in a lot of different series. So he's involved in racing. He tries to, or he's set a goal of trying to run in 90 races this year.
He must have cut back by half. When I was a kid with him, he used to do a lot more than I think he was like in 140 one time when we met in the airport, and I was down on about 30. I thought I was doing good.
Carl Edwards, Rick Crawford, Jason Leffler, and your points leader Brendan Gaughan, the top 4 in this one.
These guys right here that you're looking at have been just cutting and thrusting, and I mean, that's what I was talking about before. It's just unbelievable they've gone that many laps without having a big one.
Cook right there moving under Chad Chaffin. Musgrave trying to go with him. Let's see if the high line works here for Chaffin as it has. But Cook is so strong. I still believe he's got the dominant truck. Let's go down to Phil Parsons for more.
Yeah, Barry, you know, Ted Musgrave also pitted when Terry Cook did earlier. You see as he's battling Chad Chaffin for the 9th position. They came in, put 2 right side tires on it, and put a half a rubber in the right rear because his truck is way too tight. I asked Gene Need a few moments ago if that helped the truck, and he said it definitely did a little bit, but he's still too tight. But he has hung right with Terry Cook, who has been so dominant in this race. So Ted Musgrave's got a pretty good truck. He just has a little bit. He got about 70-some laps to go to get back to the front.
Good report there from Phil. And I think whoever wins this race is going to get out and say the truck was a little bit too tight. And that's because of the way you have to drive around here. You diamond it. Sometimes you have to turn it with the brakes. And it's going to be tight because when you diamond a racetrack, you make that turn a lot quicker, a lot more abruptly to get back in a straight line. It's just a tight condition that you fight here. And I think everybody out there is a little bit tight. Great battle for 3rd right here. We got battles everywhere.
That's what I like about watching the race here at IRP. As you can see, there's fans everywhere. The place looks like there's practically not a seat available. But you can look up anywhere, Barry. Battle for 3rd here, you can see. Battles all over the racetrack. Just a very fun place to watch these Craftsman Truck Series trucks perform.
Now, this is your 2nd race as far as bringing Leroy's boys truck out. Can you give us any insight as to 2004, Michael?
We're not really sure what we're going to do. We're hoping to run one more race this year with Darrell. We haven't got it all put together yet, but we're looking to running one more race, maybe Martinsville in September with Darrell. And who knows what 2004 holds. We've been talking with Chevrolet about maybe running the truck for the whole series next season with a driver and maybe just a few races with Darrell and I sharing another truck. So we're definitely interested in being part of the series. Just have to see how it all works out.
23, Alex Mueller just banged it off the wall there just a second ago. Take a look here. That is a 23 going around. These guys been racing. Watch the outside right here. Wham!
Oh, I've been telling you guys, this guy's been sideways since we started here, and he's hung onto that truck. Alex Mueller.
Michael and I thought
look
it was.
Look
how sideways it is.
I think it's the way it's painted.
It's not the paint job. Listen to this driver.
It is flat sideways.
If he had been as sideways as much as he looked like he'd been sideways, he would have been headed the other direction by now.
You'd think so. I mean, look at here. I mean, looks like the thing just gets about 15 degrees loose every time he turns in.
Currently 19 trucks on the lead lap. And let's go down to Phil Parsons with Tracy Hines.
Hey, Rick, one of the guys that was on the lead lap running in the top 10 was Tracy Hines in his very first Craftsman Truck Series start. Tracy, looks like you were having a ball up there. You had a good run going in the top 10 before you were taken out.
Yeah, you know, I just got to thank the guys from Dodge and Mopar. We had a lot of horsepower under the hood. Truck was handling great. And I don't know what happened. The 29 just got to me, and apparently he wanted to spot worse than me. So, you know, it's unfortunate for these guys. We came from 36 to the 10th spot, and I think we were still moving forward.
All right, Tracy Hines looked like he had a top 10 going tonight.
Look here, David Starr on the 75 just went underneath Chad Chaffin's 18 Dodge like it was not sitting there. Went right on by.
That took 12th place away from Chad Chaffin. Carl Edwards still out front, and the Ford of Rick Crawford behind him. Jason Leffler holding on to third. Coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Power Stroke Diesel 200 on Speed Channel, presented by Ford, is brought to you by the 4,000 CarQuest stores in North America. You'll find it at CarQuest. Let's head down to Phil Parsons.
Thanks, Rick. I was just talking to Doug Richard, obviously Carl Edwards' crew chief. I said, how's your truck? He said, perfect. I said, Carl's not complaining about anything. He said, nothing. The truck is absolutely neutral. We're in great shape. How about the 14, Ray?
Well, Phil, the number 14 of Rick Crawford, very, very happy. They've got chassis CB2 with them tonight here. They've made very little adjustments on the truck. But what I think's interesting when you look over Crawford's stats here, tonight is his 7th race at Indianapolis Raceway Park, and he's only had one finish in the top 10, and he has never, ever led a lap here. Crawford knows how valuable those bonus points are. He is desperately trying to get up there in front of the 99 and get him past so he can lead a lap here at IRP tonight.
I don't think Carl cares about that.
When they run across the start-finish line, we see that Rick Crawford's actually running faster than Carl Edwards right now. We take a look at Carl's passes right now. He goes by the ASE CarQuest number 2 of Jason Leffler, the 59 of Robert Presley. And
there's
on
the
the
hard
inside of, at that time, the leader, Terry Cook.
You know what he's doing, Mel? He can make it stick on the bottom, and that's hard to do around here. Awful strong truck.
Very strong truck, guys.
But look at Crawford. Now, Crawford's caught him up about 2 or 3 times. But once he gets on the tailgate up, he loses all his momentum.
It's fun to watch Rick trying to figure out what to do once he gets to Carl, because he gets there, he knows he can't make ground down on the very bottom, so he tries to run the middle of the track, and then by the time he catches him and starts experimenting with his line, he loses some ground to him, Barry.
Exactly. Catching somebody here is one thing. Getting by him is a big obstacle.
And those two guys are running right around 23.7, 23.8 seconds a lap. Very consistent, not fluctuating much off of that mark.
And that's very fast, too. That's a very good qualifying time, really.
I think that's why you see such great truck races. 23.7 is the speed that you're supposed to run around this place in order to mix it up and really dice and have some good racing. Tomorrow night, we'll see how the Busch cars, they'll be operating down around 22.7. Just makes it a little bit harder to make passes because you're going so much faster. But racing at IRP is always exciting, no matter how fast you're going.
Now, would you think that the two trucks we just looked at, the 1 and the 4, would be racing for 9th and 10th? No, but that's the kind of competition and parity we have here tonight. We're on a short track racing. It gives other kids and other guys a lot of opportunities to run well.
And I tell you what, guys, the beginning of the season, we talked about this. The veterans were out in front, winning the races. And now, look what we've got out front again. We've got Carl Edwards out in front of this, a rookie this year.
We got a lot of really good young guys. You got 3 brand new winners, first time ever this year. Jason Leffler finally got his first win, much overdue. And then the 2 Roush boys, John Wood first, and then of course Carl Edwards, who's leading right now, got his first win. These guys got a lot going.
Bobby's been stumbling a little bit, Bobby Hamilton, but he's got a real strong truck right now, pulling up on the back of Schrader for the A spot. You can see Carl, though, he just keeps putting trucks behind. Another lap down for Andy Petrie, and has got him a bit of a break here from Rick Crawford. He's driven away somewhat.
He's gotten smart enough that he can drive down off the corner. Here comes Darrell on pit road here.
I don't want Richie Gilmore to hear this, but we've got a really low gear in the truck tonight. I hope it didn't hurt the engine. That's Tide Give Kids the World Village, Rick. Give Kids the World Village is a theme park down in Central Florida that caters to terminal ill children, lets them come down there and visit and be a part of Disney World and all the resorts in that area. So really cool that Tide and Give Kids the World are together for us here tonight.
Well, and Michael, you guys have different charities you give to. The Junction gang. I mean, last night we did a bowling tournament with Jeff Gordon where they gave money to the Riley Hospital for Children. It seems like NASCAR and really children that have been dealt some unfair hands kind of go hand in hand as far as you guys are always looking to try to make their lives better.
Well, we're just so thankful that we have opportunities to make a difference. You know, Tide and Give Kids the World together here tonight allowed us to raise money for them. I do a deal with Just for Men hair color. I know that's a surprise. I do color my hair a little bit. But we're able to raise money for Give Kids the World because of it. We have auctions. We have bowling tournaments, golf tournaments all the time to try to help out. I'm real thankful that I have the opportunity to make a difference in some people's lives.
I want to color the gray ones on me.
Yeah, we talked about Kenny Schrader had a good truck, and you see he's moved into the picture here with a 1 and a 4 battle for ninth. Federated Auto Parts, Silverado, and here comes Musgrave back on the inside. Let's see if the horsepower has the advantage here from the high groove. That Dodge has got a lot, but you see Kenny, he's ahead. That's what the high groove does for you.
And Ted Musgrave probably should have learned from earlier how he got cycled through as Michael mentioned earlier, the train that passed him by.
Well, that's the thing with IRP. You don't have much choice about where you're going to make a pass. I mean, these guys aren't going to give you anything but that low line. You have to try to make it stick down there. Of course, the truck doesn't want to, except for Carl Edwards, who seems to be on a rail.
Yeah, and Carl's, somebody's told him, probably the spotter, could be Jack the Cat in the Hat. He's here tonight to move up top once he gets by this lap traffic. And when he does that, he goes immediately to the top. That's the line that Rick Crawford's running. And on clean racetrack, actually Crawford's catching him a little bit.
DW is slowing down. I think his day is over. His night is over. You know, I was listening to Carl Edwards on the radio the other day. He was saying that he wanted to work on a low line run. He wanted to work on a passing line, not to go for a qualifying setup, not to go for a good race up. I want to be able to pass somebody. So he says, I'm going to work on that. Maybe that is why he's going so good. Phil, you know something about that?
Well, Dorsey, remember, Carl Edwards ran the Silver Crown race last night, finished third in that 100-lapper, so he's got a little bit of experience on this racetrack, doing a great job there. But as you guys said, he wants the top of the racetrack. He absolutely does not want to give up the top of the racetrack. If Rick Crawford's going to pass him, it's going to have to be on the bottom.
And we saw a guy who knows about experience in racing, Darrell Waltrip, having to pull the number 17 Tide into the pits, but no problems for Carl Edwards out in front of this one. Rick Crawford tries to reel him in here at IRP. And welcome back to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Power Stroke Diesel 200 right here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. And look at Carl Edwards running on the low side of the track there through turns 1 and 2.
He's moved that thing down a little bit. He likes the top of the racetrack, but I think he's just messing around trying to see if he can cut it to the bottom. You can see him there off 4, right down the bottom, trying to see if he needs to go down there. Is it there for him? That's a real smart move by Carl, trying to check out the line a little bit.
And you think we don't have competition here? You just saw him put down a veteran, Mike Skinner, put him 1 lap down.
Currently, 14 trucks are now on the lead lap.
Uh-oh, spin and turn 4, Chad Chaffin around.
Take another
Jody
one.
Lavender. Oh, Jody did a good job missing that.
Andy Ponstein went with them.
Here comes Skinner. Can he make it? No. What a race though it was.
He don't race back. He's not thinking.
Gentlemanly.
Right. That was a guy trying to get a
lap back.
It was close. Maybe he got it. What do y'all think?
You know, you got to go with try to get your lap back at a place like this because it's too hard to do it the other way.
Now this will be Mike Skinner's last run in the trucks because he's picked up a Winston Cup ride.
Here's what happened.
Out of turn 4, these guys have been racing real hard with each other. They're going to try to 3 wide. Chaffin with a lot of speed goes down,
and
hits the 70.
You know what he tried to do? He tried his hardest to stay off of the 70. That was Chad's deal. He ran in the corner. He knew it was hot. He wanted to cut the truck hard to the left to stay off the 70. But when doing so, he lost the back end and unfortunately a lap.
And I'd like to say, Andy Peter, he was nowhere near this crash. Okay?
I was going to say.
Wait. There he is now, though.
There was an Andy involved in that, but it was Andy Ponstein.
Y'all are hard on Andy, and his truck looks like $1 million.
We got some takers here on pit road.
Let's go down to the pits and Ray.
Our co-point leader decides to come in, guys, with just 40 laps to go in this race. He was running 4th, so why in the world would they pit? Brendan said this thing was absolutely a handful. In the last 3 laps, he thought he was going to crash it. He felt like he had a vibration or something wrong with a tire. So they come in here to put 4 fresh Goodyears on it. He'll go back to the track, but what an unbelievable loss of track position to come in 4th and then have to pit with just 40 to go.
Well, we only got 14 trucks on the lead lap, so he is giving up quite a bit of distance. John Wood came in as well, as did Matt Crafton and Kenny Schrader. We said that the guy that won this race would probably pit around lap 65 or so. That's when Carl Edwards came to pit road. We'll see how smart we are, if we're right or not.
Gutsy moves there.
Let's go back down to Phil Parsons, pit road.
Thanks, Rick. You're exactly right. John Wood, in fact, did come in. He made a major chassis adjustment. The truck has been a little bit tight in the center, a little bit loose off. They tried to correct that, but he put 4 fresh tires on it. As Ray mentioned, inside of 40 laps to go and track position being so critical, he's going to have a lot of work to do to catch up and get back where he was.
We had mentioned that there are 13 trucks on the lead lap, and at the back of the field is the number 52 of Ken Schrader.
Schrader, it's Mikey. I'm in the TV booth. We're documenting you having a strong run in your little hot rod. Anything to report for us up here?
Yeah, Mikey, little center-end truck's pretty good. I'm a little bit surprised 4 guys didn't put on tires there. You know, I mean, we thought that was a good opportunity for us. There was only 13 trucks on lead lap, I was told. We were running 10th, so strap 4 Goodyears on and go play.
Hey, your buddy Andy Petrie, he's having a good run. Have you seen him? Have you had to deal with him any?
Yeah, unfortunately, I had to deal with him a couple times. I've watched him up there. It's been pretty exciting. I'm sure they'll be lined up at his truck.
Monday night, you know, on Inside Winston Cup Racing, our TV show we do, where we're trying to be more serious, we'll talk about your run tonight. There's 1 to go. You got 4 tires. Make something happen, man.
I'll try like heck, buddy.
Later, dude.
We'll all tune in on Monday night to hear that banter back and forth.
They're going to be lined up in his truck.
Well, we got to lay off Andy.
Yeah, y'all are a little hard on him. I haven't seen him really do much.
Let's give him the
he spun the leader. I'll give you all that.
Let's give him the benefit of the doubt now. He's got about 35, 40 more laps here, and let's see how he does. We're coming to green. We got a race once again with this caution.
He's a great guy to watch.
Anybody's race. Droopy Dog's back in the hunt, too.
Time to get racy, boys.
3 and 4 wide going across the start-finish line, and Carl Edwards still out in front. Rick Crawford behind him. And again, 2 Fords being chased by a Dodge right now, Jason Leffler.
It's going to get wild.
It's going to get crazy, fellas. There's lightning in the sky, fire on the mountain.
All that stuff. And as a driver, you got no time out now. You got to go.
Well, you know, there's less than 40 to go.
35 laps remaining in this one.
You know you got better tires if you're Schrader, Brendan Gaughan, and these guys, but there's traffic everywhere. They're 3 wide, like you said. It's hard to make any ground. They're just hoping the caution flag doesn't keep falling over and over and keep them bunched up. Let them make some ground, make some passes.
Schrader and John Wood right there, perfect example. Got good tires, can't go anywhere.
Because of serious, serious traffic.
And we'll take a look at the Craftsman pit close-up. The 62 Orleans Dodge, number 62. Again, Brendan Gaughan, pit crew close-up, and they making a few changes here. And guys, again, late pit stop with very few laps to go, but they only drop back about 4 spots.
But you heard Brendan say, I think I'm going to crash your truck. When a driver says, I think I'm going to crash your truck, he's about to crash your truck, so there's no choice.
Ray, what's going on with Shane?
Hey, Rick, it was not only just the tires that he wanted, but guess what? Fuel was sort of an issue. Shane, why'd you guys decide to pit? You came in at 60. You decided you couldn't make it all the way?
Yeah, we were going to be pretty close on gas, so we wanted to get 4 tires. We were starting to fade a little bit. I don't know if we could have maintained our spot anyway, so just wanted to roll the dice, put 4 good tires on it, give him something he can work with towards the end.
When the team's from Vegas, guys, it's easy to roll the dice.
Out in front, Carl Edwards still leading the pack. Rick Crawford sitting behind him. Terry Cook in the Power Stroke Diesel, number 29, sits in 5th. And welcome back to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Power Stroke Diesel 200. Again, out front, it's Carl Edwards being chased by Rick Crawford, but great racing behind him.
All the way back.
There's just a monster battle going on back here. Containing Travis Kvapil and Dennis Setzer and the Chevys. These guys right here, watch these guys coming now. I mean, they are getting after it.
It's been very entertaining. Travis is faster than Dennis, but he can't complete the pass. And every time he dips down to the bottom, Bobby Hamilton shoots up beside him. I think he's got him clear this time.
Yeah, he muscled his way through there.
Little rubbing and racing there. Travis Kvapil and in the number 16, and the number 17 actually dropped off the track a little while ago. Michael, do you want to talk to your driver?
DW, you down there?
Yeah, bud, I'm here.
What do we do to our truck?
Well, buddy, I bent the lower control arm, I bent the left rear trailing arm, but the rest of the truck doesn't look good at all. It said give kids a whirl, and I think I gave them a whirl tonight. I didn't do a very good job, buddy. I'll let them down.
Well, do me a favor and don't throw your helmet and tear it up too. You've already done enough damage down there.
I'm with you, bud. Yeah, I hate that. I hit it hard off of 2 over there early, and I thought we could fix it, but we never did. And then I hit it again off of 4, and this track's just not big enough for me. I'm going to have to talk to Stevie, see if I can get to a bigger place.
Well, I saw you get tangled up with the truck that you were trying to get around there early in the race, and I was afraid maybe that would mess you up for the night.
Yeah, he got into me, and that shot me up in the wall, and I jumped way up in the air, and I thought, oh, well, I'll be okay, but wrong again. Anyway, I hate it.
What an entertaining race it is here tonight at IRP. You ought to see these cats racing for the top 5 spots. We got our points leaders in the prey. I mean, Wappel was in 15th the last time we talked about him. Now he's running 4th. Bobby Hamilton's having a good, solid run tonight. But right now, Carl Edwards has got them all in his rearview mirror.
Yeah, when Carl was going by me, I mean, he looked like he had it on cruise control. And some of these other guys are fighting it pretty hard out there. Looks like they're sliding around quite a bit, but not Carl. He looks pretty good. And actually, Rick Crawford doesn't look bad either. Something about this joint in a Ford, you know? Seems like a Ford always runs pretty good here for some reason. I wonder if it has anything to do with power stroke.
Well, Carl Edwards has just completed his 100th lap of leading, and so he locks up the 5 points that he'll get for leading the most laps here, and then another 5 for leading a lap, so 10 bonus points for Carl Edwards. But again, a great race back here, and this is between the 62, our points leader, Brendan Gaughan, the 1 of Ted Musgrave.
You know, last time the 99 won, they in the teardown afterwards, they found a legal cylinder head and lost 100 points. And but the cat in the hat's here tonight. He's the engine guy, so I don't think it'll be a problem.
No, I think it'll all be good.
Dorsey, NASCAR calls those non-conforming parts.
Non-conforming parts. Well, that happened.
And
my mom
ago,
always said I was a non-conforming child.
Here's Brendan Gaughan moments ago.
Oh boy, not room.
Oh wow.
He didn't have enough room there.
Now Brendan, like I said, he likes to run up top. Sometimes if you run up top, you're going to hit the wall. I've experienced that myself a few times.
And with under 17 laps to go, you got to be aggressive.
Well, but Rick, the fenders on the front of these trucks are monstrous to try to get downforce to get your truck to cut. So when you run into the wall like that, you're going to narrow up the front of the truck, and it's going to hurt your ability to turn. Can he hold him off for another 15 laps? He's got some good trucks breathing down his neck, that's for sure. You see the 1, the 46. Here comes the first cat with 4 tires. We saw John Wood come to pit road running 6th, and we questioned whether he could make up that ground. He's a lot faster than these guys right now. Can he get by Ted Musgrave and Brendan Gaughan back into 6th, or did he waste his time by making that pit stop?
Well, he drove it down underneath him like there was nothing to. He's under Terry Cook right there. But now, can he get on the throttle? That's the whole thing. Can he get on the throttle, not spin the tires, and get the launch he needs to get by the next corner? We'll know in a second. Yeah, I think he can.
Well, let me tell you something. Rick Crawford is easing into the picture here up front.
Rick Crawford.
So we got racing everywhere. We're looking right now at Setzer, John Wood, Droopy Dog. They're fast, but there's a preferred line, and you got to have it. But Rick Crawford is kind of inching back in up front, and we got great racing all the way around this 5/8 mile track.
And we see Bobby Hamilton in the picture there with more Phil Parsons.
Yeah, Rick, you know, we've documented the fact that Bobby Hamilton's really struggled. He's only had 1 top 10 finish in the last 5 races. He's dropped all the way to 7th in the points. Talked to Newt Moore a few moments ago. I said, Newt, how's that truck? He said, it's really good. We're going to run out of time, but I think we're getting our season turned back around. They were so good early on, our early point leader. Back to 7th now, but headed forward.
That's good. They need to get back on the right track, and it appears that they've done that.
Look at Crawford in the 14 now. Is caught up. Pretty much caught up with Carl, but we've seen this before. I mean, it's usually when he gets on his tailgate, he just loses all the momentum.
And something else we saw after the late. Look at this graphic right here.
Guys, Carl Edwards out in front of this one, but nobody has ever won from outside the 3rd starting position. Hey, Carl Edwards started 5th tonight. He could be making history here at IRP.
And behind him, Rick Crawford. If Carl doesn't win, Crawford started even further back than that. He started in 8th position. So
well, let me tell you something too.
Crawford up high there. I think he got too high there.
We don't have grass down here. This is asphalt, and if he does that double back flip, he could make history.
Man, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
I couldn't believe he landed on that grass and stayed up.
Man, it's so cool to watch.
Double back flip. We got to back up here. Well, it was just a single back.
Something happened to the 14.
He just broke.
Rick Crawford slowing way down in the front stretch.
Wow, so close to the end. The 14, another mechanical problem.
That looks terminal, huh, Barry?
Can he be out of fuel, guys?
Not.
Let's go down to pits and find out from Ray.
Yes, he could, Rick. He is out of fuel. Keep in mind, he came in here and pitted on lap 60. The 14 got his fuel on 60, and that was the same lap that our leader, 99, pitted.
Wow.
Hey, guys. So Carl Edwards could be looking at not making it the remainder of the 9 laps he's got to go.
Well, let me tell you something. I talked to the engine builder today on Rick Crawford's truck. He figured they could go 138 laps. They pitted at lap 60. You add 138 to it, that's lap 198. They missed it by 5 or 6 laps.
Yep.
Bobby Kennedy told me that the Give Kids the World Village Tide truck could go 138, 140 laps. They needed to pit around lap 60 to 65 in order to make it. So this was early. We talked about it. 60 was early. They just hoped they would get enough caution flag laps in the meantime to make some of that mileage they were lacking.
Exactly, Michael. And what you can't calculate, and Dorsey, you know this, is you cannot calculate the fuel mileage as well when the truck is pushing. It's a given that it's not going to get the economy it normally does. Let's go down to Phil Parsons for more.
Yeah, Barry, as soon as Ray reported that the 14 ran out of fuel, I jumped up and talked to Doug Richard. I said, hey, are you guys good on fuel? He said, absolutely. We're great on fuel. We're good to go.
Well, Phil, I'll tell you this. Carl is running the lowest line of any truck on the track. Lower is obviously shorter. That'll help your fuel mileage if you run down on the bottom. Jack doesn't look too worried, does he?
He looks like he's pretty happy.
We had talked about earlier those guys running 23.7, 23.8 seconds around this just over 0.6 mile oval here at IRP, and we take a look at the speeds as they cross the start-finish line. Carl Edwards out in front.
Tell you who's coming on, you better look out for is Travis Kvapil, guys. The 16 making a move under the 2 right now, trying to take away second position.
It's a great run for that team. We talked about him early in the race, struggling, running 16th or 17th spot. And now he's as fast as anyone on the track. You can see him diving under Leffler there.
He's got to pick. Michael, look. The 04.
Which way will the 04 go?
04 is going to stay down and pick, actually.
Oh,
16 of Travis Kvapil. 3 wide as they come out of turn number 2.
I'll tell you what, that was tight right through there. Nothing you can do. The 2 gets the advantage having that open, free upper lane.
Watch the motor on. Watch the engine on the 2 truck with the high line.
Oh, look at there.
Oh, he cleared him.
Wow.
Great pass by Travis.
The 2's out of fuel or something.
Yeah, 2's off pace bad.
Our guys will be on it, I guarantee you. What's wrong with the 2? We'll find out.
Jason Leffler slowing down the front stretch. That's the second truck we've seen.
With 3 to go. He's out of fuel.
And he is not running down on the low side of the track. And I'm wondering if NASCAR is going to throw a flag if he doesn't get down out of the line.
I'd like a green, white, yellow.
Oh, I didn't think
green,
about
white check.
He'll get it in. He's going to get it in up here.
That was Dennis Connors, and you talk about frustration and feeling terrible. I've done this.
2 to go,
not
guys.
To do it twice.
Travis Kvapil, a long way to go. Look at him. He's driving it in there.
He's catching Carl big time.
Man, he just took away 3 or 4 truck lengths right there in that one corner.
As they come across the start-finish line, the white flag comes out. 1 lap around this oval here at IRP, and the race for the lead is on. It's Travis Kvapil trying to reel in the 99 of Carl Edwards.
And he's up on that wall. He's up on that wheel. He's coming.
Look at that.
As he drives hard through 3 and 4, Carl Edwards coming out of turn number 4, and Carl Edwards will win the Power Stroke Diesel 200.
That's what I'm talking about. Guys.
Will we see a backflip or will we won't?
Look at all the rubber on the outside of that tire.
Hey, way to go, Carl Edwards. Nice ride, brother. That's awesome, man. Come on. Way to go, 99 crowd. Good job.
Nice to do it in front of the boss, man.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Doug Richard doing the dive into the crew there. Your winning crew chief tonight on the 99, and that second win on the season for this Ford team.
All that truck needs is something on the side of it, I guarantee you.
Carl got his helmet off. He's going to get ready to put on a display right here.
He might take it into the wall.
No, not yet.
I think we're going to get to see another backflip, and I cannot
He knows
wait.
Jack's here. Hey, no burnout. You notice that, Michael? Boss is here.
Boss is here, and he ran out of gas doing it last time.
Carl Edwards gets out of the truck. Let's head down to Ray Dunlap, who's with his boss.
Well, Jack Roush is here waiting for the backflip. Edwards does it. The crowd goes crazy. Jack, you have been obviously great at picking talent, and man, you got a winner there.
Well, the guys did this. You know, I never met Carl until he was in the truck. I thank Max Jones and all the guys in Michigan for having laid the groundwork for this. Carl's doing a great job. We look forward to getting a sponsor for this truck, for this Ford F-150, and then taking on ultimately collision on the Winston Cup. It'll take a while, but we're on our way.
I believe they are on their way, guys. Carl Edwards with his second victory. Jack Roush here to see it happen at IRP.
Last 8 races now. Carl Edwards has finished in the top 5, 7 of those with 2 wins. Carl Edwards, the winner here at IRP. And welcome back to Indianapolis Raceway Park. Not only do we have the Craftsman Truck Series here, but gymnastics being practiced by winner Carl Edwards. Phil Parsons is with our winner.
Thank you, Rick. Win number 31 for Roush Racing and win number 2 for Carl Edwards.
I don't even know what to say. I got to say hi to Mark Laxton back at home. He's recovering. Steve Shearer, my man from Kentucky, he's coming with us to Nashville. My mom and dad are here. I mean, I said it before. I'm so lucky. Jack Roush gave me this job. I'm a nobody, man. He hired me. So thank Mike Mittler, Timmy Cahuth, every single person back home that's going, man, I loaned that kid a wheel or a J-bar or something. This is a dream come true, man. That crowd is beautiful. It was an awesome race.
Didn't you have to hitchhike home the first time you came to this racetrack?
Yeah, some of them people up there probably drove right by me and didn't pick me up, so we'll talk to them about that later. But, yeah, we won't hitchhike home tonight. I'm going to help drive the semi a little bit, I think. But, yeah, I'm just so excited. This is great. Speed Channel, NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, Craftsman Tools, Sears, Fords. I mean, Ford, what can I say? It's awesome.
Hey, how about when that 14 truck ran out of fuel? Did that cause you a few worries there?
Yeah, big time. I'm about to be sick. I was so nervous. I just thought it was going to run out of fuel. I didn't know what to do. Doug said to take it easy. I started doing that, and then Quapple started catching me, and then I got real nervous, and it's just great to race with these guys. It's unbelievable.
Well, just so you know it, Doug told me fuel was not a problem for you guys.
Man, he's got a good poker face. He's told me the same thing before, and we ran out doing donuts. So, once again, thanks Jack Roush, Ford, Craftsman, NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, Speed Channel. This is great.
Carl Edwards, win number 2, 2003.
We'll be back with more celebration with Carl Edwards and find out how this field finished here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Power Stroke Diesel 200 on Speed Channel presented by Ford. If you haven't looked at a Ford lately, look again. And by Craftsman, the official tools of NASCAR and the NHRA. And with our third place finisher, Bobby Hamilton, we have Phil Parsons.
Standing by with Bobby Hamilton. Bobby, after the last few weeks, this has got to feel like a victory to you.
I'm pretty happy right now, but I told you, I said I'm not going to brag too much because I don't want it to jinx me, but it's a really good night for us. We went to Colorado Springs and done a test with Dodge out there, and the engineer sat down with me, and we had changed the snouts on my trucks because I didn't like what we had, and it set us back a little bit, but they lined us right up. I want to tell them how much we appreciate the engineering group for helping us, and I think the key of the race was, one, the truck drove good all night, but Newt made a good call by coming and getting the last set of tires, losing a track position, and then being there at the end and having a track position. So just real proud of the call he made. Bobby Jr.'s team pitted us tonight, so we get ready to go home, see if we want them to get Taurus to square D.
Newt said you guys were really good at the end. You're going to run out of time, but he had a great truck.
We were the second best truck. The 16 was about a half or tenth to a tenth better than us. 99 had track position, but the 16 was the best truck, and we were the second best truck, but 99 won, and congratulations to Carl. He's a good kid. He deserves it. Maybe Jack can get a sponsor on that thing.
All right, Bobby Hamilton comes home in third. Now to Ray.
Well, Phil, I'm with Travis Quapple. He had a fifth here, a third, and tonight a second. Man, I'll tell you what, if this was the IRP 202, you might have won this thing.
Well, I think so. We really were coming on strong there. You know, Carl was probably saving a little bit of fuel at the end too, but we were definitely running him down. I think we had the best truck at the end of the race. Yeah, we just kind of screwed up in the pits. We missed our adjustment just a little bit. We only got half of it done when we put 4 tires on, so we figured there's no sense of us flopping around in the back of the pack with half the adjustment, so we brought it back down pit road, and IWX guys gave me the rest of the adjustment, and that's exactly what we needed to do. It's fun to come to 5/8 or 3/4 type mile racetrack where the Chevrolet will run with these boys.
All right, that was lap 111 when you made all those adjustments. Were you afraid you weren't going to be able to get back to the front?
Well, my 5th and my 3rd place finish here was pitting early and just keeping track position all night long, so I knew we'd have to be really good and have a really good truck to be able to make it up through the pack. And IWX Motor Freight Chevrolet was exactly that. You know, I had great maneuverability. I could turn under guys. I could go above them, and it was a lot of fun. It just this team wants to win really bad, and I want to win really bad, and I had a taste of it tonight.
Okay, he is the points leader. Has not gone to victory lane yet, but he was awful close tonight, guys.
And coming up next, stick around for Dave Despain and Wind Tunnel. And tonight, Dave Despain has Danny the Dude Lasowski. You can call in at 1-866-W-TUNNEL or email them. Again, Wind Tunnel tonight after the show. And welcome back to the Power Stroke Diesel 200. Again, for the second week in a row, we started a little bit early because we were worried about inclement weather. But again, not a raindrop fell here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Let's go down to our 4th place finisher, Brendan Gunn, who is with Phil Parsons.
Thanks, Rick. Brendan, you guys pitted with about 40 laps to go because Shane wasn't sure you could make it on fuel. As it turned out, it might have been a great call because we saw a couple trucks run out of fuel. Now, did you think you had enough time to get back towards the front?
Oh, absolutely. 4 fresh tires, and we had a great Dodge all night. We might have pushed that high groove just a little too much. But, you know, we had a great Dodge, and it's a shame. We need a sponsor. We might not make it the rest of the year, but, you know, this Orleans team, this is what it's about. I mean, I got my little niece here, and this is a great family, these guys, and I love them to death. And I got to say good luck to Michael Dawkin. Godspeed, buddy. I'm rooting for you, and get back to the track soon.
Brendan Gaughan, point leader coming in, and we'll leave here 10 points out in second. Let's go back upstairs.
Celebration still continuing for Carl Edwards in victory lane. We had 3 different leaders here. Carl Edwards led for 119 laps at IRP.
Welcome back to the Power Stroke Diesel 200 here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Tonight is event number 14 of 25 in the 2003 schedule, and Terry Cook is a bit dejected here. Last year you came here, dominated, led 178 laps. Tonight it looked like your truck was just as good. What in the world happened on the racetrack?
I don't know. You know, we took off and had a great lead there, and, you know, and the Power Stroke Diesel truck was looking good. And, you know, the caution come out, and I was moving up the track to get out of the way of Andy Petrie, and I'm not sure. I'm sure he didn't do it intentionally, but just got into the quarter panel and just sent me for a ride. And, you know, we buried the throttle trying to do a pivotal 360 and just keep on going. And, you know, we burnt the rear tires up doing that, so we had to come in and pit for tires. And it threw us out of race sync, and our strategy was off the rest of the race. And, you know, this isn't speedway. This isn't, you know, what you would think of an aero track. But you get back in traffic, and you lose the front end following these guys. I could run a 1/10 and a half, 2/10 a lap faster each lap when I was out in clean air. But when you get marred back in that traffic, it's hard to work your way up to the front.
Guess where you finished?
I don't even want to know. I mean,
you finished 9th again.
See, I was afraid of that. But, God, I mean, it's happy to run top 10s, but struggling in the 9th.
Okay, he finishes 9th. It's been 21 races since Terry Cook went to victory lane, but Carl Edwards is still doing the hat dance here at IRP as he picks up his 2nd career victory in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
And welcome back under the lights here at IRP. Carl Edwards claiming his 2nd victory of the 2003 season. And we saw, again, great racing here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. We've gone back to the short track racing, but you're going to be racing a little bit of a distance away from here, and you've already got a pretty good car for this weekend.
Yeah, we practiced 5th today. We have to tiptoe out of the bed at 10 in the morning and slip over there and run 2:05 down into turn 1. So I might get me a little bit earlier wake-up call, so when I climb in the Napa Chevy, we're ready to roll. But got a really good car. Had a lot of fun here tonight, man. Darrell had a tough night, obviously hitting in the wall early and never recovering from it. But the reason why these grandstands were filled is because the action was crazy. Our TV, your TV at home is only so big. We can't cram it all in there. I'm standing up here in the booth watching battles all over this track. So fun night. Ready to go get them up over at the Brickyard this weekend.
Well, thank you very much for coming up and joining us. And if driving doesn't work out, maybe, you know, someday you can work up here in the booth.
Well, we'll see. I need to talk Stevie into letting Daryl run another time or two. It's too much fun for him not to be out there, and I think he really enjoys it, and hopefully we can talk her into it.
Very good. Well, good luck.
Thanks a lot.
Tomorrow and obviously on Sunday as well for the race.
Appreciate it.
We'll be back after this. And remember, Wind Tunnel coming up next right after the closing moments here at IRP. Speed Channel's coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series post-race show is presented by Craftsman. Let's go down trackside now with Ray Dunlap, who has David Starr.
Well, thank you, Rick. He started 12th tonight, finished 11th. Boy, not much progress there. I know you're a little disappointed with the run tonight at IRP.
Well, Ray, we just never could get it to cut in the center. It was tight in the center all night long, and just we worked on it, and it seemed like we just made it worse. But I mean, we make pit stops and try to adjust on it. When you go off in the corner and get to the center and try to make it turn, it just won't turn as tight. And then you lose your forward bite up off the corner. So it was just a tough night for the Spirit Chevrolet, but a little frustrating. The guys are right there in front of you, and you can't do nothing with them, you know. But a little frustration, but it's fun out there.
Okay, that's David Starr. They tested at Greenville, but apparently didn't pay off much for him. Now let's check in with Phil. I think he's caught up with somebody.
Yeah, thanks, Ray. I'm standing by with Jason Leffler. Jason, you were a good side-by-side battle for second, and all of a sudden, the world ended.
Run out of fuel. You know, to say Team AC CarQuest Dodge was good, really good early on. Took 2 tires and just was tight from there on out. But they just filled it up and it took all 22 gallons. So just missed the fuel mileage. I was a little tight on that last run, so maybe it just used more fuel than we expected.
We're just taking a look at it right now. He had a great truck, though. Had a good, strong top 3 finish for sure.
Yeah, it would have been great for points, but you know, it's racing.
Jason Leffler, unfortunately, had a little trouble tonight. Let's go back upstairs.
Well, you saw the frustration there in Jason Leffler as he pulled the steering wheel off. And again, running very solid. Our top 2 that were up there in second both dropped out with fuel mileage problems. The hat dance continues here at IRP for Carl Edwards. But coming up next on Speed, Wind Tunnel with Dave Despain. Again, you can get a hold of him at 1-866-W-TUNNEL. And tonight he has Danny the Dude Lasowski with him. So give Dave Despain and Danny the Dude Lasowski a call tonight. And let's go down to Ray, who's with Dennis Setzer.
Well, thanks, Rick. Pretty reasonable run tonight. Starts 18th, finishes 8th. Were you happy with that?
Well, not really happy. You know, the Morgan Dollar Motorsports team has done a really good job this year, and thought we had a little better truck in that start of the race. Unfortunately, it's got bottled up here at IRP. It's tough to pass, tough to get up to the front here.
You know, Rick, here's one thing that I think's a little bit odd. They came here tonight with a truck that was not the one that they've won with 2 races this year. They brought Kyle tonight. They've won twice with Stan, but Stan will be going to Nashville next week. Now let's check in with Phil.
Making adjustments on rubber in the right rear, put 2 right side tires on, but never quite got back where you wanted it.
No, that was about lap 86 or 89, and it was tight all the while, but we couldn't give up that track position, Phil. You raced here, and you know that if you keep coming in and start from the back, you can hardly get to the front, so we had to kind of live with it. And we were just off tonight, but it was a gift. We got 6. That's a heck of a lot better than we've been here past couple years, and you know, it's not what the Mopar team wants, but then again, you look at the big picture, we come out of here unscathed.
Now you got a little bit more work to do this weekend here. Normally you could go home and relax, but you got a little unfinished business tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully it's going to be a lot of business. We got the Sirius 07 car over there at the Brickyard, and I think we finished like 14th overall in the practice session. So hopefully tomorrow we can make the show, and that's going to be a big deal for Jim Smith and everybody at Ultra to get 2 cars in the Brickyard 400. So wish me luck, and I'll be there Sunday.
All right, Ted Musgrave going to do double duty this weekend. Going to try to run the Brickyard 400.
And Ted Musgrave had mentioned that Phil Parsons knows a little bit about this track. Phil Parsons actually ran in the first Busch Series race ever at IRP. We'll be back for closing thoughts. Speed Channel's coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series post-race show is brought to you by Craftsman, the official tools of NASCAR and the NHRA. We take a look at our unofficial results. Carl Edwards sets a new record here for starting position. He is the first one to ever finish out of the top 3 and win this race, and Carl Edwards starting 5th and winning here tonight.
Good runs there, Dennis. That's what we were just talking a minute. Look at this right here in 13th. Though Randy McDonald, that's his best finish of this year so far. He's been struggling a lot. Hats off to him. Did a real good job. Started in 32nd, so that's a good effort right there.
As did Randy Briggs. Just this kid's getting better. He struggled as of late, but he had a very good run tonight.
DW having problems with the Tide 17 falling off the pace. And the rest of the 36 field. We had 46 trucks try to start this race tonight, only 36 making it. We take a look at the Ford top 10 point standings. Travis Quapple now with a 10-point cushion over Brendan Gaughan.
Cushion? Daniel Cushion, 10 points. Any of these guys can win this championship. I'm telling you, this is a tight battle.
Wind Tunnel will be up next, so make sure to stick around for Dave Despain and Danny the Dude Lasowski. That will start immediately following tonight's coverage here. Our next race for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series